And welcome to the Tony Scott Podcast, the Tony Scott Internet Show. I'm actually on the road right now. Just finished my radio show, so I'm talking in a microphone as I drive. I drive slow, so I'm not going to be distracted or anything. But man, how was the weekend? Final weekend of 2014 as we head to 2015 later in the week. Man, I'm telling you, it's been an interesting year, you know, not just from a me standpoint, but just everything going on in the world, the Michael Brown killing and the movement that came from that, the Ebola thing, you know, the Republicans got control of Congress. That's just off the top of my head. I'm just saying, that's just one of those things. But man, a lot of stuff going on. I saw in the news today that the Ferguson Police Public Information Officer, the PIO, his name is Tom Zoll, suspended with no pay for being an ass. Basically for being So the Washington Post heard about the Michael Brown Memorial, the one on Canfield in the middle of the street that was destroyed. Apparently somebody ran it over on Friday, was it Friday morning, early? Maybe something like that. And it got rebuilt in a matter of hours in the middle of the night, which I thought was great. But apparently the Washington Post asked Officer Zoll about this. And basically he says, you know, we'll look into it. We don't know if a crime's been committed, but, you know, basically he said it's trash in the middle of the street. That's basically what he said. So why would you say that to a Washington Post reporter? What kind of idiot public relations, public information officer does that? How did he get that job? How was he able to hold on to that job based on what just happened now with this whole trash comment? You can't keep him in that job. You got to reassign him. How insensitive. Why would you do? I mean, that just tells you the attitude of the Ferguson Police Department. The Ferguson Police Department could give three damns about black folks in Ferguson, Michael Brown, his killing, his memory, his death, allowing him to rest in peace. They don't care about anything like that. These are the people who say they're going to protect and serve. They're not going to protect and serve anybody who looks like Michael Brown. That's for damn sure. So he's suspended with no pay pending a further investigation. He even, when it was brought to their attention, his supervisor's attention, because you know the Washington Post, man, they were not going to let that slide. I mean, because if they let that slide, then they lose their credibility. So when they brought it up to his superiors and they asked him about it, he lied. He lied. So now, you know, they find out the truth, and now they have to come down hard on him, not because he lied to him, because now it's a story, it's a thing now, right? That's the reason why. Man, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't want. Man, come on. Crazy. It's kind of sad that Chris Rock. It was announced actually today that Chris Rock and his wife. I never could say his wife's name. Is it Malak Compton Rock? They have filed for divorce. His lawyer says that he has filed paperwork. She released a statement to People magazine saying, we hope people will respect our privacy during this difficult time. And, you know, divorce it's a tough thing. I've been divorced, and that's not a good thing. They got two daughters who are like 12 and 10 years old. Chris Rock's only 49 years old. Chris Rock's 49. Chris Rock's been around forever. Chris Rock should be older than me. Chris Rock is 49 years old. Oh, wow. Good for him. Man. But I'm sad that his marriage is coming to an end. Apparently, they had filed for divorce last year, and they decided to put it off, or they decided to get back together and give it another try. I don't know, because his brother Tony Rock, who's an actor and comedian, incorporated last year's divorce announcement in his stand-up act, saying that he never liked Chris Rock's wife anyway, and now they can go out together and get women. So, I mean, you know, it's just horrible, but. Nonetheless, Chris Rock apparently headed for divorce, and I'm sad about that. So, Bill Cosby has decided, you know what? I'm off the mat, man. I'm off the mat. Bill Cosby, according to New York Post, has hired like a bunch of private investigators. Like an army of them is what the New York Post calls it. And the reason why is to find dirt on every one of these women who have accused him of assault, sexual assault, or whatever they're accusing him of. Taking liberties, whatever you want to call it. I mean, he was quoted as telling his team of advisors and his lawyers and his publicists and all these people that, you know, how is it that you're going to let somebody take advantage of you? You never told the police. How is it that you let that go? How is it that you never said anything and you continue to live your high-profile life? I think he's talking about Beverly Johnson. Maybe he's talking about the, what's the other one? The other model, the first supermodel she called herself, Janice Dickinson. So apparently he's ready to go in now. You got to be pretty confident, man, that you're going to, because now if you don't find dirt and what they're saying is true, now you try to discredit a rape victim. And I know Bill Cosby, he's innocent until proven guilty. But, a lot of people, man, we are quick to judge. A lot of people will say, you know what? Yeah, he did it. Well, how do you know he did it? Because he did. Shut up. That's not a reason. He did it because I know he did. That's the reason you're going with. You never even met anybody in Bill Cosby's circle. And the reason why he's guilty is because you think so. And that's all you got. It's funny how we want to believe that people are innocent until proven guilty unless it's people we don't like or we want to see get brought down a peg or two. It's just such a mess, man. Such a mess. I don't know. Man. What else is going on, man? How about this teacher in Oklahoma? A teacher in Oklahoma, I think it's a middle school, she decided to go on a snack run. There's a Walmart that they share a parking lot with that's out back of this school in Oklahoma. So she decides to go on a snack run during class. So she takes, was it 11 kids? And she piles them into her Honda Accord. 2 of them sit in the seat next to her, 7 of them in the back, and she puts 2 of them in the trunk. She put 2 kids in the trunk. And they went to Walmart for snacks. And of course, they got caught. The school says we never gave anybody permission to leave the school. This was not a sanctioned trip. It wasn't authorized by anybody. No parent permission slips were sent out. Nothing. She did this on her own. Well, she was fired. And she says, I'm sorry that I did this. I was just trying to do something nice. And her lawyer says the only thing she's guilty of is actually seatbelt violations for the kids. Like, what? What? Have you lost your damn mind? That's all she's guilty of? How about 11 counts of endangering the welfare of a child by putting them all in a vehicle, cramming them in a car, 2 in the trunk? There's got to be some kind of law against putting live human beings in the trunk of a car. Cruel treatment of kids. I mean, there's got to be at least 15, 20 charges this woman has to be facing. I mean, really? She's only guilty of that? Get out of here, man. That makes no sense at all. Man. I'm just going off the dome, man, about stuff that I've been reading about. Of course, that Indonesian Airlines that just disappeared. What is that about? That's frightening. I mean, this is the second plane that's just disappeared, right? Remember the Malaysian plane? Never found that plane. As of this recording, we haven't found this latest one that disappeared a few days ago with like 155 people on board. What is up with that? Man, I don't know. Solange Knowles, Beyonce's baby sister, who recently got married, turns out like on her 3rd day of her honeymoon, the California filed a lien against her because she owes them $55,000 in taxes. And California's damn near broke, so they want their money. Oh, they're going to get their money. They're not cutting no deals. We need $55,000. We need it now. Man, if I got that news on my honeymoon, that would just ruin everything. But, I'm not in her world, so maybe, I don't know. Do you think Solange has $55,000? Her husband? I don't know anything about him. He's supposedly a video music producer. I'm sure he is, but I mean, I don't follow music videos, so I don't know if he's famous or not. I have no idea, but, I mean, if you don't have $55,000 and you're Solange Knowles, do you ask Beyonce for the money? I mean, Lord knows Beyonce has it, but I mean, when are you going to stand on your own? And now understand something. I know nothing about this situation. So I don't know, maybe Beyonce offered to, I don't know anything. Maybe she offered to pay it for her. I have no idea. I'm just saying, though, when your sister is filthy rich like Beyonce is and has, more money than she knows what to do with, do you ask her for $55K, man? I mean, like asking somebody for $500. You're talking about $55,000. Do you ask Beyonce for that money? And how do you, see, I don't know. I can't do, I'm not wired that way. I can't do that. I would be so embarrassed. I would be so embarrassed. I mean, I would be. That's just me, I mean, my sister asked me a couple weeks ago if I needed money. I was like, nah, I'm good. In my mind, I'm going, oh, Jesus. But I mean, you know, it's life, man. It's life, you know. Hope her honeymoon wasn't ruined. When I married my first wife, we got married like on a Saturday night, and Sunday morning, it's 10 in the morning, I'm coming downstairs, and she's already up, dressed, you know, and the insurance man is there because he's waiting for me to come downstairs so he can write a life insurance policy on me. I'm talking about literally it wasn't even 24 hours that we had been married, and he's at the house. What insurance agent writes a policy on a Sunday? I've never heard of that before. Who does that, right? And I'm thinking, wait a minute. What is this? That's for about a year. I thought I was being set up, man. It's going to be on 48 Hours or something. Forensic Files. Those shows weren't even on the air yet, but I was worried that I was going to be some kind of documentary, the victim of a heinous crime. I didn't know. I mean, who gets life insurance on a Sunday? I've never heard of that before, but it happens. So. What are you gonna do? What do you want me to do? Do you have New Year's resolutions? I think the number one resolution is probably to lose weight, get in better shape. I don't make resolutions because, you know, I'm not gonna lie to myself. I'm not. Am I gonna lose weight? I want to, but probably not. Am I gonna get in better shape? I want to, but probably not. I'm working on the inside right now. You know, trying to find my inner peace, my journey with God, things like that. And I talk to God a lot. I do. Talk to God all the time, at least twice a day. And just ask him, like, you know, what's the plan? I know we're working on your schedule, but what's the plan? I mean, you know, here I am. I need to take care of my family, trying to find a way to do that, trying almost everything I know, you know, and nothing. And I don't know what's next, and it scares the hell out of me. I can tell you about that, you know. I keep the faith, yeah. I mean, that's all. If I didn't keep the faith, I would absolutely lose my mind. I probably would have went down somewhere and probably would have went to the last employer I had and probably went in and like killed certain people. But nah, I ain't gonna do that. That's silly. Why would I do that? That's, you know. So I keep the faith, and it keeps me about as level as possible. That and Prozac. That's just me, man, you know. But yeah, it's a real deal though. When you think about it, you know, having to be at the age that I'm at, and then having, you know, been dismissed from my job and stuff, it's frightening. I mean, because like I've told you before, I'm wired to work and take care of my family. So, you know, it's crazy, just absolutely crazy. But your New Year's resolutions though, I think if you make them realistic, like say this year I'm going to lose 10 pounds. And most people say, man, I can lose 10 pounds by April. Go for it. Go for it, man. Go for it. You know, 10 pounds is tough. You know, so I mean, if you're going to make New Year's resolutions, make them like realistic, man. I'm going to save money. Okay. How much are you going to save? $200? That's realistic. Could you save more? Yeah, probably. But realistically, could you? Nah, you probably couldn't. You know, because there are things you like to do. You know, I mean, unless you're really focused, like you want to buy a new house and you're going to sink every spare nickel you have and put it in your account so you can put a nice, healthy down payment, you know, to keep your mortgage payments low. But unless you're laser focused, that ain't going to happen. I mean, because it takes incredible discipline. And we are a nation of undisciplined people. I mean, we really are. You know, we say we're going to quit watching reality TV, but then when you find out Nene Leakes has a new hairdo, I got to at least see that. Next thing you know, you're 4 episodes in. I mean, it is what it is, right? We have no discipline at all. Just because. I don't know, man. Hey, this Friday, Tony Scott Live is going to be going on at Kathy's Kitchen in Ferguson. We had a great turnout last time. This is the perfect date night. So make this the first date night for you and your boo of 2015. It's January 2nd, this Friday night from 6 to 8 p.m. Come by, have a meal. You can watch me do this show. What I'm doing right now, I'm going to do it live from Kathy's Kitchen. So hopefully you can join me for that. That should be a lot of fun. We had a great time last time. Saw some people I had not seen in a while. Hopefully I've had people tell me that they're going to come this time because they couldn't come last time. So hopefully they'll be there this time and it'll be all good. Let me just decline that real quick and get back to my recording. So that'll be coming up this Friday. All right. I would love to have you there. I'd love to see you there and such. All right. I'm filling in for Stacy Static on Old School 95.5 all this week from 9 to 2 with the exception of New Year's Day. I'll be off that day. But I'll be in for her, holding it down for her as she takes, I guess, the last of her vacation. I don't know. But, I'm working. I'm making a little bit of money, some pennies, Let's see what else is happening in the world. Let's see. Idris Elba as possibly of the new James Bond. He'll be the new James Bond. I can see that happening. He would be, of course, the first non-white to be a James Bond, a 00, to be James Bond 007. So I think it'd be nice to see that. I like Daniel Craig in the role, though. I actually liked him better than I've liked any of them. Sean Connery, Roger Moore. I've liked Daniel Craig the most. I don't know why, but I have. And Idris Elba, I'd watch that. I'd watch that with no problem. Are you going to watch that show with Terrence Howard and Taraji P. Henson? It's about record moguls and prison and all that kind of stuff like that. Because 50 Cent says that show is biting off of his life. Has 50 Cent already seen an episode? Did he get access to an early copy or something like that? I have no interest in that show. And I like Taraji P. Henson and I like Terrence Howard, but it's the same old, man. This is what? How many times have we had this formula, whether in movie or TV form? Right? How many times have we had that? I just, not interested. Will I watch it? I'm thinking right now, probably not, but, you never know. But I'm not interested in that. Some folks say, black folks will say, we got to support our black shows, otherwise there won't be any. But if the black shows are garbage, though, do you count reality TV shows as having to support them? Because, give folks something with substance, something. But see, then they say people don't want to watch that. They want to watch, all kinds of things that just ratchet stuff. The sorority sisters thing is getting so much backlash. Let's see. My wife is sending me texts. Get so much backlash because of the ratchetness on the show that they want to, and I spoke about this on the radio show yesterday, like those kinds of shows, when you are on social media watching these shows and you're trashing them and saying how ratchet they are and we shouldn't support it, but you're watching and you're tweeting and you're using even if you use their hashtags or not, all that counts as success for these shows. The Aaliyah movie, everybody and their mama complained about it. I never ran across one person who said it was actually good, but everybody on Facebook was tearing it up and on Twitter was tearing it up. So it was deemed a success because of it was a trending topic. And in that business, any publicity is good publicity. So, what? It's like, come on, man. So if you tweet about it, Facebook about it, comment about it on social media, it goes in the plus column. If you don't like a show, then don't watch it and don't comment about it. It gets no traction. It goes away. Am I telling you something that you don't know? I think you know this already, right? But you get caught up, and I don't know. I enjoy watching. I'd rather watch a rerun of Hogan's Heroes than watch a reality show. I would. Those shows are the last thing, or the furthest thing from reality. They don't even resemble reality at all. And in some cases they're kind of scripted. You think they're not telling some of these folks to act a certain way or to do it again so we can get a different angle? You think they're not doing that? Come on, man. You think they're not playing up to the cameras? If you think they're not doing that, then you're worse than people who thought wrestling was real. Seriously, think about that for a second. Man, I don't know. People amaze me. They do each and every day. But it is what it is, and people apparently like these shows. And it's so funny now that when new TV shows start, and they're regular TV shows, scripted shows, they make sure they point out a new scripted series on BET or on whatever, or on USA or something. They make sure they point out it's a scripted series. They do. They make sure they point that out. so that, you know it's not a reality show. It's come to that, people. It's actually come to that. You know, BET's sister network, Centric, cut a deal with Queen Latifah to rebrand the network, the Centric channel, as a TV channel geared toward African-American women. And the first part of the deal is they're going to put Single Ladies over there. Single Ladies was garbage, man. It was garbage. Just a bunch of pretty women, trying to get what they can based on their looks. And drama that, I don't know, man. It was garbage. Is this what's going to be on Centric? Rebranded Centric as the Black Woman's Network? Is there going to be any original programming? Because you understand, BET and Centric and Viacom, all that's all connected to MTV and VH1. So what they've been doing lately is just dumping their shows on different networks at different times. So not really a lot of original programming, So are they going to put Being Mary Jane that's on BET? Are they going to rerun it, some of it on the new Centric, women's network channel? Is that the plan? And then, Single Ladies, and they're going to use Behind the Music, VH1's documentary program. They're going to use the ones they've done documentaries on female artists like Queen Latifah, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, Lil' Kim, people like that. They're going to run those over there. I mean, if they're going to do that, it's a waste of time. See, the thing is that there are so many of these channels now, and these companies, they own so many of them. Most of them, you don't know that, like NBC owns USA Network and all that stuff like that. And so, but they don't have enough content to fill them, so they just keep moving stuff around. They just move stuff around all the time. And I hate that. I hate that being, give someone else a shot, man. What would I do? I have no idea. I don't know. I'd have to give that like a lot of thought. But I mean, it just seems to me that I remember when Oprah was giving out shows? Remember that? That was a great idea. I think it crashed and burned, but it was a great idea. And some people got a couple of gigs out of it and stuff like that. But I mean, it is what it is as far as like trying to find. It's hard to find. They say good talent's hard to find. There are a lot of unemployed radio people right now who would be great on television. They would be great doing a lot of things in relations to broadcasting and stuff. There's a lot of unemployed TV people who would do well, But whether they'll get their shot, like I said, Oprah tried to give people the shot a while back, but that didn't really pan out like I think people thought that, you just, send an email or something and say you want a show, they'd give you one. It didn't work that way. There was a process, and it just didn't work out because the people who think they have the talent to do this didn't, and I think they kind of clogged up everything. So I don't know. Anyway, I'll leave it right here, man. I appreciate you so much for listening. I appreciate you so much for sharing, for downloading. Your support means everything. I hope to see you Friday for Tony Scott Live from Kathy's Kitchen at 250 South Florissant in Ferguson. We'll be there from 6 to 8 p.m. Hopefully you'll make it by. Bring your honey. Let's make it a date night, all right? Have a great day, and I will talk to you later.